Rebound and puts it in off the wall. Does not put it in off the window. Nazi Mohammed's got it though. It's knocked away and the Wolves finally come away with it. San Antonio 3 of 17 from the field. 17%. Sam Cassell rifles one down low to Candy. Michael turns it around and the hook marked the game. Tim Duncan normally uses the top of the box there, did not. And Duncan has missed all 4 to start this game. Anthony Carter, I don't think you can say enough about AC and what he has meant to this team this year. And certainly Kevin on defense, they're giving up nearly 7 points more a game. What difference does that make? Well, they've lost 14 games by 6 points or less this season. There you go. Anthony Carter aggressive off the glass again. Wolves to have him leading the way. Jackson Broman opens the scoring for the Hornets. He's moved into the starting rotation now. 16 consecutive games, and his numbers have doubled as a starter. Sam Cassell during this trip, Tim Dwyer, many others. Great to have him with us. Eddie Griffin.
They have not been nearly as good a defensive team as they were last year. They haven't played as well in the fourth quarter as they did last year. How many games did Minnesota just completely blow teams away? Come back to win even close games in the fourth quarter.
Candy underneath gets it to go. Let's send it over to Leah. You remember those days, and the Hornets, another very telling stat, have trailed by double digits in all but 24 games this season. This is game number 81. So in short, it's been a nightmare. Into Evie, off to Michael Olowokandi. And that 8 of 11 becomes 9 of 12. Much too easy. Zerbiak gets the bounce. Now 90-91 season. The Timberwolves and Lakers are in a dead heat for the fewest forced turnovers on the year. A record set by Houston back in the 01-02 season. Wally Zerbiak out of the
Zerbiak jump shot to take the lead.
Dick out, cross court, and Wally Zerbiak is there to take it away. Would have been a tough pass anyway, but it was telegraphed, and Wally was right there to grab it. Carter finds the seam, throws glass, and Anthony Carter. Jerry Stackhouse involved in a fist fight with Kirk Snyder just this past week. More on that in a moment. Kevin Garnett. Offensive interference.
The Seattle Sonics, Golden State Warriors, Phoenix Suns, they shoot 3 times that many threes.
Sam Cassell opens his. Snyder has had his issues with Jerry Sloan, and I don't need to tell you who won that battle. But Jerry, I think, has had a good effect on this young man. Wally Zerbiak comes right back. Tonight's question comes from Steve Madison from Egan. PD wants to know, why should the Jazz play well tonight?
Well, the Jazz will play much better tonight, and they have played better tonight because Keith McLeod is in the lineup. He was not in the lineup against Minnesota. They missed his ability to push the basketball in transition. Definitely a rugged rebounder on both ends of the floor. And then they match him up with a Donald Foyle, who signed a big contract this past summer, Tom. Got crazy money for his skill sets and for the money that he puts out there. But tell you what,
the answer I was looking
for. No. I mean, there were certain teams. I loved playing against the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, those teams that are in your division were always fun to play against.
Phillips Arena, as we have seen through the years, not quite at capacity. In fact, not close, which is a shame. It will be interesting, Pete, to see how the Wolves react early on.
You're going to see a lot of that right there.
Stuck around for a long time. This looks maybe like it's more of a surface scratch. Taken away, Sam Cassell with the pressure. Trenton Hassel is there to help out.
It's one of those things, though. It looks like it's right under the eye. And so the sweat gets in there, and it's stinging probably right now, and you can't really touch it because that makes it sting worse.
Andy throws it up and in. KG feeding Andy, and Mike
Collier.
His 5th season out of Georgia Tech. And the Hawks take the lead to start quarter number 3. And the Hawks back up by 3. Wolves got out of the gate strong tonight, up by 13 points. But they have struggled since. KG over Yogi Stewart.
How good Denver's been all season, and especially with George Karl and Doug Moe coming on back onto the bench as an assistant coach. So 14-8, beautiful move by Garnett. Left Kenyon standing and very high assist ratio on their 16 made field goals.
Well, that's amazing about them is not only are they been getting up and down the court. We know Coach Karl would like to get over 100 points. Nearly a Wesley Person, 8 points. Buckner, 6 rebounds. Boykins, 4 assists. I mean, they're getting contributions from 9-10 guys a night. And you don't know who it's going to be coming off the bench. Sometimes it'll be Persons hitting shots. Boykins usually fairly consistent. Could be Nahara coming up with a game in double digits. But they're getting contributions up and down the bench.
2 to shoot. Cassell had to take it over Nene. Job last year. George deserves obviously all the credit going on here, but Jeff Bizdella took this team from 27 wins in 02 to 43 last year, making the playoffs for the first time in 9 years. Hudson at 2. A former North Carolina guard started on their Final Four team back in the 70s. Garnett off the inbounds. Beautiful control on the feed from Cassell. And baseball might be the only thing going on in the Twin Cities in the month of May. Need them quick. Need lots each trip. Cassell almost fell. Garnett and 1.
Serbiak and Sam Cassell seeing his first action. So you think about the players, Tommy, that Kevin brings in off the bench. This is a very, very good bench.
Yeah. Utah throwing a little zone at him.
You know, the one
thing about that, he's going to probably have about 5 or 6 more of those before his career is done. I mean, he is the complete package.
Serbiak kicks. Good ball movement to Hoiberg, who nails it. So you guys back in the studio, don't be making fun now of a former coach of the year who is taking over and leading them back here, Tommy T.
How does Jerry Slumber repay him? Leaves him with this mess.
That's right. I saw Sloan's running mate as Garnett turns around, makes it. Beware those teams that are real loose. Like we thought Utah would be here tonight, but they're so shorthanded.
Oh, they were loose. They were loose. Lug nuts were coming off. They were so loose.
Isley on a pick and roll, and it's unbelievable that the Timberwolves are shooting 60.8%. They're 31 of 51 from the field against Utah in this game. What also surprises me is that trailing this way, the Jazz have not attempted one three-point shot in this game. Well, check that. On cue.
Well, they've shot 16 for 30, now 16 for 31. The Jazz have since starting out 3 for 15. So offensively, after that horrific start, they've played fairly well offensively. Just defensively, they've had no answer for Minnesota. And that's when you get down, not only you got to score, but you got to be able to put some stops together. And they just haven't been able to do that.
Hudson's on the money.
To the league at that time. Some really bad perms with Doug Collins. Our colleague Hubie had 1. Mike Fratello had 1. Jack Sigma had 1. Mark Fidret does a different sport, of course. He had the bad hair. I need somebody. If I had hair, I would do it. I'd offer my services, Brent, but I don't have one.
Here's Sprewell.
Clinched
a playoff berth for a 7th consecutive year. They are the 5th seed at the moment. If the season stopped right now, they beat Dallas in the first round of the playoffs. And here we go in what is a critical game for the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have won 5 out of 6. As Olowokandi on his 30th birthday has it outside. Hudson, now the reigning MVP of the league, Garnett, and Garnett puts it in for 2. Well, in the 3. Here's Coutinho Mobley tying the game with 4:45 to play in the opening period.
They have enough ammunition with Mobley here as the 2 guard. They have a guy here who can really score the ball. That was, good defense.
On a Staircast soon, and that's why I'm in now and starting pool work and bike work this week.
I know that they'd love to have you back before the regular season ends, but what do you think is realistic for a return?
After today, we got 7 more games, and I expect to hopefully play in Game 8.
Game 8, that would be your first game of the playoffs. So, what about
the game? He said he really has a lot of pain, and for him to miss 23 games, especially when you know that you need him, that's something he does not do, because he is a prime-time clutch performer in 3 minutes.
Thomas underneath, nice reverse lay-in.
coaching staff's message to the Sacramento Kings is, number 1, you're playing well. Number 2, you're playing hard. We've never enjoyed such good fortune as to have this many offensive rebounds in one half, so keep it up. The only adjustment, now start making the shots, convert on those offensive rebounds, then we'll have a chance to win this game. Al?
Thank you, Michelle. Take a look at the leading scorers. Sam Cassell, who didn't start the game, had all of his points in the second quarter. He's played a total of 13 minutes, so a point a minute. Bibby and Stojakovic with 11 points apiece for the Kings, and that's nothing new. They are the 1 and 2 scorers on the club. Cassell will start the third period on the bench. Minnesota will start the third period on defense, and here we go.
Minnesota's going to be tested up front. By that I mean Garnett and Olowokandi. You cannot continue to allow Skinner and Thomas to get each 6 offensive rebounds.
Bibby came off the screen and misses the first shot of the third quarter. Now Latrell Sprewell.
Very quiet. Sprewell and Hudson now in this game really struggling. They're 2 for 11 from the field. These are 2 proven scorers, guys that you expect 10 to 20. That should be in cement. Unfortunately, they're not getting that.
Sprewell has only 49 points in the 6 games coming into this one. He has 4. Hudson has none. Trenton Hassel. Stojakovic cuts off his path to the basket, but he backs away and puts it in.
At home, so Minnesota comes in here with a little bit of confidence, knowing they can win at America West.
They had a win last night against the Lakers, as they had no less than 7 guys in double figures. Down low to Olowokandi. They use his height. That comes down to the rebound. Garnett in the game is 1 of 5 in the early going. You know that will not continue. Earlier this year, as we mentioned, he had a career-high 47 points against the Suns. Sprewell able to hit it. Latrell superbly done. Thunder Dan, 74-69, 12 minutes to go. The fans on their feet. Suns going to try to finish, and here comes the quarter for Cassell. I mean,
hits him out. Sam gave him a playful little elbow to the chest, and Steve Nash just took task and went at him and shot the jump shot. I think he should be doing that all game long.
Nash is trying to get his 13th straight game with double digits in assists. He's at 8 right now. He has 18 points. Here's Kevin Garnett, and the long one is able to 91-87. The three-point play for Nash gives him 23 points. 5:20 left to go. That foul on Sam Cassell was his second, and it goes to Garnett. Nice feed.
Suns start to build some momentum here at America West Arena.
I'm going to tell you right now, Steve Nash has played just an unbelievable game tonight. He's done it all. There's Zerbiak, an assist to Garnett. So the
key member of all those championship clubs, and of course, there's Jerry Buss, the owner and governor of this team, and boy, he's got to be thinking a lot about the rest of the series, I think. But back then, you were allowed to get away with pretty much anything, and that play changed the tone of the series completely. Made it a much more physical series, and that was to Boston's advantage. Garnett knocks down the jumper.
All right, for more on that series,
Hudson try to move a couple of guys around to infuse some youth into this roster. This is one of the oldest teams in the NBA.
And Sam Cassell
plays in Minnesota now, very familiar with those 2 teams. And we also talked to Dan Gilbert, the new owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. He did confirm that Flip Saunders is number one on his list of people he wants to talk to about the vacancy in Cleveland.
All right, thanks, Craig. Flip Saunders grew up in Cleveland, was a high school star.
You can see the last few minutes, they've not been casting three-pointers, the Lakers. They're trying to get the ball inside. They're doing a nice job of getting some penetration and putting a little pressure on this Timberwolves defense.
Garnett going at Mim. Hassel is wide open. Yes. 3 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. If the T-Wolves hold on and win here tonight, they'll be 2 behind Denver and Memphis and 4.5 in front of the Lakers.
Of course, it's important to mention that Memphis has the tiebreaker edge.
Turnovers already in the first half here for the Clippers. Only 4 points on turnovers from Minnesota. So Minnesota not cashing in on all these mistakes the Clippers are giving them.
Zerbiak nearly loses it. Sam Cassell, all sorts of moves, twists, turns, and then the hoop. And the Wolves go right back to work. Under 7 minutes remaining. Cassell finds KG. Kevin Garnett, another tough shot.